YouTube. What's up? I'm Anna, and today I'm doing my best books of 2019. I've got a whole list here, but let's talk. Okay, so in 2019 I read 67 books. A few of them were comics, 2 of them were short form stories. They were Scorched, which is a Star Wars story. It's by Delilah S. Dawson. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. It was just about a race, and Han Solo was in it, so it was cute. And the other one I read was Opal, which was a Raven Cycle short story. So I'm not counting those, and I'm not counting a couple of the comics that I read. I think I read them all in August, maybe like a couple in the spring. They were all pretty good, so I'm not going to talk about those. I am going to talk about the Audible originals that I listened to that I enjoyed. Those were Body of Proof. It was like a podcast by a couple of investigators, and they were following the case of a man who perhaps mistakenly was convicted of murdering a woman in about 2011, 2010. Wally-Roo Quantum Mechanic by Nick Carr, which was performed by William Jackson Harper. I can't remember his name. William Jackson Harper. It's just about this teen boy who is doing some coming of age, and he's doing it through being a quantum mechanic, and he jumps through realms. It's pretty cute. I gave that one 4 stars. I gave A Grown-Up Guide to Dinosaurs, which is exactly what it sounds like, 5 stars. I really enjoyed that one. And The Man Who Knew the Way to the Moon by Todd Swillick, which is about, I couldn't say it when I talked about it in August, and I can't say it now, about the man who knew the way to the moon, who figured out the best and cheapest and most efficient way, and also safest way to get us to the moon in the space race in the 60s. I gave 2 nonfiction books 4 stars. The first one I read all the way back in January, and this was Glittering Vices. I read this for my 7 Deadly Sins class, and it is a rundown of all the 7 Deadly Sins. I really thought this was good. It has a faith approach, but it was really a good piece of material for class, but also like good for me just to read it. I thought it was a good book for me, Anna, to read. And then the other one was The Next Pandemic by Alias Khan, which was part memoir, part nonfiction about how diseases spread and this man's time in the CDC. That was really interesting about how diseases spread. I learned a lot from that one, and I gave that one 4 stars also. I also want to talk about A Grief Observed, which is it's nonfiction, so I also gave that one 4 stars, and that is C.S. Lewis's journals after his wife Joy died. Genuinely like very heartbreaking to read, but he's such a clear and concise writer. Oof. Here they are, my 4-star Star Wars books. There were 3 of them. They are Rogue Planet by Greg Bear, Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, and Queen's Shadow by E.K. Johnston. Now, Anakin and Obi-Wan in the early years, I think Anakin's like 13, and they go on a mission to a living planet. This one's got a lot of funky Force stuff in it, and the relationship between Anakin and the Force and Anakin and Obi-Wan is superb. Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray is about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in the middle years. They go to a planet to protect a princess, and there's also a lot of wacky Force stuff in this one, and I love some wacky Force stuff. Queen's Shadow by E.K. Johnston. This is a Padme book. It's about Padme's first year in the Senate after she has finished her reign as queen, so pretty good. Thought it was sweet also. Now on to my 4-star fiction, The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, which is about a young demon and writing letters to his uncle, and his uncle writing back, which you see as his uncle writing back, trying to tempt the human soul to get that soul for the demons to consume it, to go to hell so that they could consume it. It's pretty funny. It's very intelligent. This was actually the second time I read it, and this is the only book, not the only book, there's one other book that I've included on this list that I've read before, because I read it when I was 14 and it went over my head when I was 14. So this was the first time I really read The Screwtape Letters, and I like it. I like The Screwtape Letters. Also, he was making jokes about Hegel. I think that one's fun. The other book that I've read before is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. I read this when I was in 5th grade, and I adored this book when I was in 5th grade, but then I never read any of the rest of them. And then I saw the movie when it came out. Oh my god, did it come out in 2018? not good. This is a fantasy novel. This is also a sci-fi fantasy novel that is, I am almost 100% sure, based on C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy. If I ever get around to reading the Space Trilogy, I will elaborate on that, which I think is really cool. This has a lot of pretty heavy-handed Christian themes that I did not remember from when I was 11, and I liked it. Like, I thought it was cool. Like, I read read regular Christian fiction, so I'm not going to complain about it in this book. It's just not as magical as I remember it being, and that's probably because I am no longer 11 years old. This is Thick as Thieves by Megan Whalen Turner. This is the fifth book in the Queen's Thief series. They are all standalone books, so in theory you could read this book by itself, but I didn't. This book is about Comet and Costas, and Costas is a character who we meet for the first time in King of Atolia, which is my favorite book of 2018. Costas goes and rescues Comet, and they do a little journey. I love journeying. They have built a great friendship. I love this book. And The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Pan, which I initially gave 5 stars. I lowered it to 4 because I don't remember anything about it, which is kind of sad. I think this is a really remarkable book. It definitely moved me to tears almost immediately. It is YA, but it deals with a lot of the same themes that I studied in my senior STEM class last fall, which was like a whole year ago now. That's crazy. With how, especially people of color living in America, deal with their identity and how they use ghosts and supernatural elements of the culture that they left behind or were first to leave behind, to cope with grief and loss. So I think that this was done really well, and it's really good. Also, I listened to Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is a book about Eleanor Oliphant, and she is a woman with some physical and mental disabilities, and she lives what she thinks is a completely fine life. She's completely isolated, and just her coming out of her shell little by little, making friends and stuff. I thought it was really a good, solid book. I also read A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This is a Sherlock Holmes retelling, but instead of just being like a regular Sherlock Holmes retelling, or even a regular Sherlock Holmes retelling where Sherlock is a woman, they are the great-grandchildren of the original Holmes and Watson. I thought it was very cute. What is it about? I don't know. The detective aspect is cartoony, but the relationship between Jamie and Charlotte is very cute, and I very much enjoyed it. I also read The Song of Achilles, which is a Iliad Achilles reimagining. It's about the relationship between Patroclus and Achilles, and I really think that the reason I didn't enjoy this book as much as other people did, well, it's 2 reasons. It's 3 reasons. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like Patroclus or Achilles, and I thought that there was too much done to make Achilles a likable character. I've read the portions of the Iliad that matter. Achilles is not a likable person, and I think that in order to have us sympathize with Achilles, or to have us understand why Patroclus loves him, we kind of glossed over every terrible thing that Achilles did do, and all of his kind of attitude. That starts to break apart towards the end, which is, I think, pretty cool and lends credence to my theory. She also gave Patroclus no personality, okay? 2, the writing is it loses me. It's beautifully written, but I am very aware that it's written the whole time. I think because it's really similar to my own writing style, not that I write this well, but it's similar to how I would like to write. It's kind of passive because Patroclus is a passive person, a passive character, and has a passive personality. And because I think her writing style, Madeline Miller's writing style, is just kind of passive anyway, it comes off very detached, and I was expecting some Trojan War stuff, and I didn't get it, so I was sad. And the 3rd reason is because I already knew Patroclus and Achilles were in love. I already knew that from reading the Iliad when I was 15 years old, the parts of the Iliad that matter, and also 17, and also being a philosophy major. I I don't think there's anything wrong with this reimagining where we very explicitly say that Patroclus and Achilles were lovers and in love with one another, but I don't think it's really like a secret the way that I think some people react to this book. Like, can you believe that some people don't think that Patroclus and Achilles are in love? Well, no. I mean, I can believe that, but I don't think it's as well kept a secret as people like to pretend. I don't think there's as many people in academia who are like pretending that's not an aspect of what Achilles does. And I don't think it's so like I wasn't as like mystified by that as relationship as lots of other people, especially because I didn't like either of the characters. They deserve each other for all I care. Like, I read The Deal by, oh my god, Elle Kennedy. This is the first in a series of books. I read two of them. I read The Deal and The Mistake, but I only liked The Deal. And I'm thinking if I read it again, I wouldn't like it. It's about two characters, a man and a woman. Garrett on the one hand and Hannah on the other. And Garrett is a champion legacy hockey player, and he needs help passing his like philosophy class. I think they're college juniors. And Hannah's just like the straight A music student. And so they get together, and I thought it was really cute. They get together under making a deal with each other that if Hannah helps Garrett pass the class, then Garrett will help her get with the football player of her dreams, and obviously they get together. I thought it was cute. I thought this one worked better than the second one, which is The Mistake, and then I didn't read any of the rest of them. One other 4-star book, which was Across the Universe by Beth Revis. This is the first in a series about a girl who she's contemporary with us, whose body gets frozen, and then she's cryogenically frozen, and then she wakes up when she's not supposed to. Almost 5 stars. Really, the ending, it feels weird. There's like a reveal made at the end. You probably could guess it, but I still don't like the way that the reveal was handled. I didn't guess it. I did guess other things. And the other part is that it's just YA sci-fi, and there's only one female character and one main male character, so they're gonna get together. There's not really a choice, so I just was like, this is good, and I decided not to read the rest of the series. So then my 2 5-star reads. The first one is motherfucker, The Giver by Lois Lowry, which is a very famous, very small book, and it is about, oh my god, what's his name, Jonah, and he is selected to become the new keeper of all the memories. They live in like a dystopian, utopian world where people don't really have emotions anymore, and they just run a very efficient and very pleasant society. But Jonah's like, fuck that, because he's 11 years old. So he's like, I gotta get out of here. Goodbye. Oh, I'm sorry, he's 12. And then he does. He gets out of there. Really good book. I really enjoy The Giver. So there are other of these books somewhere. Not in my house anymore. And then Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the very first book in the Dreamer trilogy, but also the 5th book in this world. It follows Ronan, who is a character from the Raven Cycle. He's my favorite character from the Raven Cycle, and he can take shit out of his dreams. That's what the strong part of this book is. Probably this is more like a 4.5 star, but I didn't enjoy a book this much this year as I did this book. I think part of the reason is I already knew this character, so I'm already really invested in his feelings and his relationships. He feels very real to me. And I also relate a lot to Ronan. Some facts about Ronan. He's gay, he's Catholic, and he's full of rage. So we have a lot in common. Ronan, this is like not what the book's about. It's about dreamers getting hunted, but what's important about this book to me is that Ronan has recently not graduated high school, but all of his friends did graduate high school, and Gansey and Blue they have gone on a gap year with Henry, who Ronan doesn't like, and they left. Like, they're gone now. So they went to, I don't know, Ohio, Oregon. Gansey is tied up to a tree for, I'm assuming, 90% of the time that this novel takes place. I don't think this was his doing. He just does whatever Blue tells him. I've read all of this into the book. Noah is dead. He's dead now. He's not coming back. He was dead and then he was a ghost. But now he's just dead and you don't get to see him anymore. He's done. He's at peace. He's not just dead. Like, he didn't just die. That would be horrible. He's at peace now. And Adam is Ronan's boyfriend, and if I say that I lost my mind like a crazy repressed person every time they called Adam his boyfriend, well, I did that. I acted like a lunatic. Adam is at Harvard. Apparently, Harvard was not his first choice. So his boyfriend is in Ivy, and Ronan is still in Henrietta. He cannot leave because he starts being unmade if he leaves for too long, so he feels stuck, and also he didn't graduate high school. Chapter 5, Ronan shows up on campus, he passes Adam because he doesn't recognize him, and then he meets all of Adam's friends and thinks, oh god, Adam's gonna replace me. This is unfounded. They go back to Adam's dorm, they kiss. That's what boyfriends do. Ronan's like, I'm moving here, and Adam's like, are you sure? Not in a mean way. He's just like, I don't know that that's gonna work. And immediately proves that it won't work. He just starts walking. I am still swallowed by his despair. He goes home. He decides that he's depressed now. He used to have a personality, but now he's just depressed. So Declan enlists Gansey to make sure that Ronan decides to continue to have a horrible personality anyway. The whole thing's too much. He's like, oh, I'll be a farmer. Anyway, it's all bad. And then that's it. Yeah, there were other things that happened. Declan's whole personality is... Oh, Adam made a 16-hour round trip to see Ronan for 3 hours. If you don't think that's what love is, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's happened to Adam. He won't text Ronan back. Not intelligible. The reason that I was gonna have a vlog, but then I went through the footage and it was like unintelligible. So instead, I didn't make the vlog. I just feel like a crazy person. I really genuinely feel for Ronan. I've already said all of this. I feel kindred with him. One of the things that I didn't talk about in my December wrap-up, was how I feel kindred to his Catholicness. This is a aspect of his personality that I think a lot of my friends, when we were reading it in high school, kind of passed over, but it's one that's actually always meant a lot to me. He's grappling not only with his sexuality, well, actually he's not grappling with his sexuality at all, which is what I think I like most about him. He just is gay. And he just is gay. Like, that's it. He's grappling with what he is, and the ethics of what he's done, and how that relates to his spirituality and religion, and that's like a little bit in this book, and it's really never done enough. But I don't know that Maggie's Catholic, so maybe it's better that we back away from it, and I just think about it constantly. I did make myself cry because I thought Ronan might want to get Catholic married, and then he can't. He said Ronan's not going to deal with his sexuality, grapple with his religion and sexuality. Well, I'll deal with it for you. Anyway, Called in the Hawk was my favorite book of the year. It's because I'm a crazy person, and I just am in love with Ronan. And I also know I've already said this part too, but I have loved Declan from the beginning, and now people are getting on my I love Declan train, and look at me, I was right about him the whole time. I was right about Declan Lynch the entire time, and the fact of the matter is, I was here first. I am the queen, I'm the president of the Declan Stand Club, and I was right about him. All he wants is to keep his brothers alive, and that is a horribly difficult job when Ronan is like 2 steps away from just being completely suicidal, and Matthew's life depends on Ronan. So those are my favorite books. I don't know how many that was, and I don't know how many is going to make it into the end of this video, but that was my favorite books of 2019, the best books of 2019 even. My favorite was Called Down the, this is the back of the way, my favorite was Called Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. That was not a surprise to me. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you for continuing to support this channel, and I am hoping that in 2020, the year that we're in, I'll post 2 videos a week. I know I didn't even post 1 video a week this year, but maybe I'll get 50 subscribers. That would be really cool, actually. My goals, my 2 goals for 2020 is to, well, I have other goals, but we're not going to talk about them. My 2, like, YouTube goals are to get 50 subscribers. I know that's, like, a tiny little number, and I should already have it, but we're doing this now, where I have personality. And to post 2 videos a week, which I think will help me with my small little subscriber goal. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye.